Hey guys. Alright, so this video is going to consist of some things that I need to get mailed off. So it's going to be, I'm not going to say short and sweet because the second part of this is going to be a bit emotional. But anyway, first things first. It's about time for me to get my daughter's Christmas box. It's actually stuff I got last year and never got mailed out because, well, yeah, I'm a bit of a procrastinator. So I'm going to rebox it because it's been sitting here in the kitchen and the cats have jumped on it and it's kind of dusty. I also do want to add, my brain just went blank. Add a little bowl full of homemade Chex Mix. I always make my Chex Mix the way my grandma did, with the old recipe. I don't like the new seasoning packets, and I don't like doing it in the microwave. So we're going to do it the old-fashioned way real quick. Then get it put in a little container I got, and get it all reboxed so I can get it out to the post office. I wanted to do this today, get it completed today to get to the post office. That was my goal, but I don't think it's going to happen, so it might have to be post office Monday. But that still gives me a full week before Christmas, so from Arkansas to Washington. Should get there on time. Anyway, so let's get the base mixed up. I'm pretty sure if you looked online for the original Chex recipe, mine's probably not exact. I don't even know if it calls for this much butter, but kind of like when you make Rice Krispies and stuff, it always feels like there's not enough. They're just barely coated, and I like mine pretty coated. So I'm going to use a whole stick of butter. And Worcestershire sauce. I think it's supposed to be close to a tablespoon. I don't know. I'm just going to play it by ear. Well, it looks like about a tablespoon in there. A little more for good measure. I'm going to go ahead and melt this down before adding the seasonings because it has a tendency to clump if I don't do that. So I'll be right back. Alright, so about 45 seconds in the microwave later. Oh, you can't see that. I think it just got all over the table. It did boil over a little bit. There's still a few clumps, but if you just kind of stir it and let it sit, it'll gradually melt the rest of those little pieces down. It smells amazing already. Just the Worcestershire sauce and butter. We have Lowry seasoning salt. I use about a tablespoon. Garlic powder, about a half a tablespoon. I think you're supposed to use onion powder too. I don't have any normally. But these two are just as good by themselves. Right, so that's left me with about a half a cup Skeletor. Half a cup of melted butter. Should be plenty because I'm only making a small batch. I'm making a full recipe batch, but I think calls for 2 cups of each cereal, 2 cups of each 3 Chex, plus a half a cup of Cheerios. I'm not using the corn because I didn't have enough money, and I knew I wasn't making big batches, a big huge batch this year. And I also don't use as much of the wheat because it's not my favorite. So, and I just realized I used my measuring cups my 1 cup to measure this, so I'm going to go grab a measuring cup to measure the cereal. Alright, I couldn't find my old collapsible cup measure, which can't really be used for liquid anymore because it has a crack in it. I guess that's what happens over time with those little ones that even collapse up. But anyway, I just grabbed the half cup. And again, this isn't perfect. We're at half a cup of wheat. And again, this is pretty much just a single batch recipe. Or like a two. It makes like two. I put mine in old Lloyd's barbecue pork container. It makes a couple of like 3-cup Rubbermaid containers. So one. So I have 1 cup of rice, half a cup of wheat squares. Rice is probably my favorite. Skeletor, you're not helping. And then my grandma always added Cheerios. I like to add, since Cheerios came out with the pumpkin spice, that's my all-time favorite. When I bought all these, I kind of did it on a budget. I normally use regular Cheerios, not great value, but it's all, for this, it's pretty much all the same. So that's not a whole lot. I don't know what they're getting into over there. I also normally like to use pretzel sticks. They're smaller, don't take up as much room. For some reason, my Walmart was sold out the day I went to buy all this. So I'm not really going to measure this. That's probably about a half a cup. I use about a half a cup. Skeletor, get down. I just play it by ear. Whatever's a good ratio. The problem with the Cheerios and the peanuts, again, I also don't usually use party peanuts, but they were really inexpensive, and they're already all in half, which is cool. So for a mix like this, it's a really good price. I like to use the Spanish peanuts, the ones with little red skins. Those are my favorite to use. And like I said, if you wanted, you could probably liven this up with anything else. Cashews or something. But this is the way my grandma, Gammy we called her, it's the way Gammy always made it. So that's the way I make it. Alright, now let's see if I can get it good. Get these peanuts before they fall to the bottom. Good drizzle on everything. Okay, this might be a little too much butter, even for me. We'll see. I might make a second batch for myself. But that's how to control dripping down the back like that. Yeah. Everything seems to be nice and shiny. Nice and shiny. Now, the trick here, this is what makes them good. Because you're going to slow roast it like you would nuts or, you know, pumpkin seeds. Well, those are nuts too, but, well, whatever. Or, anyway, I'm going to put these on about 225 to 250. Sorry, still getting over that cold. So it's going to be for a full hour, ultimately. But every 15 minutes, I'll go in and stir it around, turn it upside down, make sure they all get nice and toasted. The house is going to smell amazing. And because they're going to slow roast, the nuts are going to get nice and cooked. The oils will come out of them. These will get a nice a nice little crunchy coating. You can't do that in the microwave. And I even don't mind mine getting a little bit on the dark side. Speaking of which, we're going to see the new Star Wars tomorrow. We may even hit up, and we're going to see it at IMAX. We just bought our tickets last night, which we almost did too late because the farthest seats away we could find in the middle section were still like the 7th row, and we don't get to sit in the center. We have to sit off to the side a little bit. But for regular price tickets, we might tomorrow hit the matinee beforehand and see the new Thor, because we haven't seen it yet. So just kind of depends on how much money I make tonight at work. I get to deliver pizza again tonight. It's a Friday. So anyway, let's get these in the oven and I'll show you the final results in an hour. On a side note, I accidentally burnt the Chex Mix yesterday. Well, it was more of a combination effort. Jason came out to make some lunch and I forgot that he turned the temperature up. So I set it for 15 minutes and burned the hell out of it. So remaking another batch real quick. As soon as that's done, I'm going to get it packaged up and get Litzia's box all repackaged, get this thing wrapped, and I'll finally be done with these gifts and things. Tomorrow is going to be, well, maybe not tomorrow. My next video is one that's going to be a little more sensitive for me, one I've kind of been looking forward to. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching today, and see you next time.